Bronc Bros podcast with Adam Ramirez and Sean Flanagan.
Welcome to the We Lose by a Field Goal Every Week podcast. I'm your host, Mile High Mez. This is Sean. We are the Bronc Bros. And thank you for joining us. I don't feel good today, Sean, so I just wanted to let everybody know out front. And it actually doesn't have anything to do with the Broncos, Sean, although it really should because they make me sick to my stomach right now. But how are you today, sir? And how are we feeling?
Yeah, I've got Bronco depression, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of I couldn't even put the blue on today. That's how sad I was. I usually have it on all the time, man, but I went without it today. So they hurt me. They hurt me deep.
Yeah, I was drinking my water this morning and I was covering the logo. That's how petty I was. But I also I'm a Mariners fan. I know everybody's like Georgia Bulldogs, Mariners, what's going on over there? Don't worry, I'm a Rockies fan too. Sean knows this. But the Mariners are on fire. They're about to win the division for the first time since 2001. So that was at least a little bit of a positive for me. But yeah, the Broncos, man, the positives, we're always going to start with the positives, Sean. I'll let you give us a positive first. And if I can find one in my back pocket, I will supply one as well.
Cortland had a great game. He made some great catches. Nick Bonito, outside of the boneheaded lining up in the neutral zone penalty, he had a fantastic game. I think we had 5 sacks.
Yeah, 5.
And we're already ahead of pace for last year when we had a record-breaking season. So, obviously you get one more there at the end and we have a different outcome. So, some more opportune sacks would be nice. But, it's hard to say there's an all-encompassing positive, but there's small individual positives that if we can just put these things together, man, that there's opportunity, and these losses are major lost opportunities.
I totally forgot about Cortland Sutton in all of my rage. So yes, that was certainly a positive. Yeah, the sacks are a positive. There were 5. Pass rush looks really good, but it hasn't looked great on third down, Sean, which is the money down, right? We can't seem to get these guys off the field, our opponents. But my positive, before we devolve into madness, J.K. Dobbins was really good. That catch before the run was just, I was losing my mind. I think I said, oh my God. That's all I said. Even when he was running, I was like, oh my God. That was just
that whole drive for him. Not just that play, that whole drive for him.
Because he opened the drive with a 41-yard run, right?
He carried us the whole way down the field. But don't give him the ball. Just give it to him one series a game. That's probably
Yeah. And definitely don't give the ball to RJ Harvey. Why would we do that? One screen a game, he's good. But I guess another positive is we outrushed the Chargers by 12 yards, which I guess isn't that much of an accomplishment. I don't know. Is there another positive? I guess we didn't turn the ball over. We didn't turn the ball over. But it was a rough game, man. And we're going to talk about this a little bit on this podcast. It was a lost opportunity, Sean. And the reason I say that is because the Chargers lost. And by the way, prayers up to Najee Harris, man. That I hated seeing that. And we hate seeing non-contact injuries, man. When is the NFL going to address these things, right? But player safety, we care so much, but they don't. So that was terrible. They lost their starting running back, arguably their starting running back. Then they lost like 4 guys on the offensive line during the game.
Yep.
They came into the game without Khalil Mack. Ladd McConkey did nothing. Quentin Johnston is not good. I don't care what anybody says. That guy is not good. He is not good. They have nobody on offense that you're afraid of, and the Broncos somehow still gave up 23 points to the Chargers. So that's my view on that. I just don't – I think the Broncos beat themselves. I don't think the Chargers are anything special. I know they're 3-0, and I'm going to give them their flowers for being 3-0, whatever, but, like, the Broncos beat themselves. They beat themselves against the Colts. They beat themselves against the Chargers. And the other side of this, the more important side of this, is the Chargers are 3-0, and all their wins are in the division.
Yep.
So the Broncos are effectively 3 games out of first place right now. So it doesn't mean that they can't, catch them, because it is the Chargers we're talking about here. And my goodness, the Chargers can never stay healthy, and it looks like it's the same story this year.
Yep.
And for as well as Pipkins was playing coming into the game, he got eaten alive by the Broncos because he hadn't played, against a real pass rush from that side. And so, Sean, what are your thoughts on the opportunity that was lost against the Chargers here, and what does it mean for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, you're a 3-0 football team with a 1-2 record because you're not taking advantage of your opportunities. And it's just, it doesn't make sense when you see the capabilities in the pot. It's not just on paper. When you talk about paper, the Broncos should be good on paper, blah, blah, blah. When you lead the league in sacks and you do all these things and you have the reigning defensive player of the year, you shouldn't be letting some no-name tight end walk you down the field. And you shouldn't have, that one play for the first down looked like a pick to me on Pat Surtain, but Pat Surtain he's getting attacked a little bit this year, which I find strange. I'd have to look at, the tape a little bit more, because I think a lot of it is in zone, and, he's playing his area as he's supposed to, and the receiver is coming from somewhere else and he makes a tackle, but so it looks like, he's not where he's supposed to be when he probably is. But it just doesn't make sense to me, man. And then like that drive with J.K. Dobbins, and then I'm just like, why is it? I think I texted you in the beginning of the game, like, this is J.K. Dobbins' get back game because the Chargers didn't want him and he's not on the field. What are we doing? And he clearly, when he was on the field, took advantage of those opportunities, because this is a game he wanted to win. He said it before the damn game, and he took advantage of every opportunity when he was on the field. Yet he doesn't get the touches that he needs to. You alluded to it before the podcast. The disparity between plays is ridiculous. And it's just, we're always behind the down and distance. It's crazy to me, man. And the opportunity, like you said, we're basically three games back now because we lost a tiebreaker. So you go from literally being first in the division, if you can just maintain the ball for 3 minutes, go down there and kick a field goal, and you're first in the division. Now you're 2 games behind with a loss in the tiebreaker. It's just, it's maddening, dude. It's maddening.
I would describe watching the Broncos in 2025 so far as that. Just pull your hair out, maddening. Because once again, Sean, here we are, week 3. We're talking about how the Broncos did not play good on both sides of the football in the same game. When are they going to do it? We're sitting here trying to be as positive as we can. It's like, okay, it's only 2 weeks in. Now it's okay, we're only 3 weeks in. And then next week, if you lose to the Bengals, it's not, hey, it's only 4 weeks in. It's, hey, it's almost time to panic, right? Because you're 1-3. You have lost 3 games against the AFC at that point, which is going to come into play later in the season. I think the Bengals have a chance to be in the playoff race at the end of the year because Browning has played good in the past for the Bengals. Like, granted, they got shellacked by the Vikings. But I think what's most frustrating about the Broncos this year is that their identity is not running the football. Their identity is not passing the football. Their identity is not stopping the run. Their identity is not being good on special teams. You know what their identity is this year, Sean? So far, it's taking penalties at the worst possible time imaginable. Right? We've got Benito lining up, not even jumping offsides, but just lining up offsides on a punt, bro. Like, and not in a situation where we're trying to block a punt because it's late in the game. Yeah, like just get the ball back.
Yeah.
Right?
They scored on that drive.
Yeah.
They scored on the ended drive that was over.
Yep. 3 points, right? The difference in the game. Mm-hmm. You've got Hufanga body slamming. Was it Keenan Allen?
Mm-hmm.
For no reason. You've got Riley Moss grabbing everybody all the time. Like, he's not having his best season right now. What were the other penalties, Sean, that I'm forgetting here that were just at the worst possible time?
Ballsy had a face mask, I think. He did not play great yesterday. I think he had 3 or 4 penalties, if I recall.
No,
he had an illegal procedure. He was lined up incorrectly at one point. It's just, I don't know, man. It's some weird, like, 101 stuff that we are just not doing correctly.
The Troy Franklin obvious pass interference in the end zone on 2nd and goal, it pushes you back. And just watching this team this year so far, they're not going to recover from that.
Yeah.
Like, you just,
well, and you say Troy Franklin, right? And it's like, okay, Troy Franklin has a great game 2, and Cortland Sutton has a great game 3. Do these guys like not play in the same game, or what the hell, dude? Pat Bryant is like, you got rid of Vega.
I know.
And they don't throw Pat Bryant the ball. So you hype up Pat Bryant, and I think he's a good player. Like, why is he not involved? Evan Ingram's not on the field. You hyped up this Joker thing. So now we don't have a Joker. And you got rid of Devon Vele, who was arguably our second best receiver. If he's not,
he was good. He was good, man.
If he's not second, he's third. And you ship him out because you have all this faith in Pat Bryant, and then you don't throw him the damn ball. So you can't just play one guy each week and hope that that's the guy that's going to have a great game and you're going to win. These other quarterbacks, your Josh Allens and your Lamar Jacksons, they throw to like 9 dudes and they spread the ball around and they move the ball. And then we got to get Cortland involved. So let's just throw him the ball every single time, whether he's open or not. It's crazy, dude. When you talk about identity, that's like, it's just, I don't know what we're doing. It just doesn't make any sense.
And it's just, sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
I thought you were done.
No,
I think there's a small.
I am done. I'm very done.
I think there's a small delay, but the identity isn't there. And like I said, the identity is taking penalties and being undisciplined. That is their identity right now. And it's not a good look. And neither is my TV glaring off my face. Sorry, but it's a good Monday Night Football game here.
Monday Night Football's excuse, man.
So, but Bo Nix, man. So we pounded the table last week that, he balled out. He was good last week. He was really good. And then this week, I don't know what happened. I mean, granted, the pass protection was horrific. And the Chargers are a team that doesn't blitz on defense, and they were just in there all day on him. Luke Wattenberg, like, is there not somebody better that can play center on this team? Like, my goodness, he cost the Broncos a touchdown yesterday. He was constantly getting blown up. There were multiple plays where you just looked and he's not blocking anybody. He looked lost, And Mike McGlinchey, I've never been a huge fan of that guy. He constantly gets beat off the edge, at least based on the eye test. I don't know what the grades look like or whatever, but I feel like Bo Nix wasn't helped by his offensive line, right? But that being said, Sean, we have an overthrow to Marvin Mims. We have an overthrow to Troy Franklin. We have an overthrow to Cortland Sutton to win the game, to Cortland Sutton, mind you. And I was partly shocked on that fourth down that we even connected with Sutton before the half. Like, I thought he was going to overthrow him. So, like, the mechanics with Bo Nix are extremely, extremely frustrating. He's throwing flat-footed. He's like you said before we got on here, he's like shot putting the ball downfield with wide open receivers. And it's super frustrating. And then there was a play that frustrated me beyond anything yesterday when he threw underneath to Troy Franklin on 3rd and goal. Not only was he not open, but he was like 6 yards away from the end zone. It's like, why are we force feeding the ball into double coverage underneath on 3rd and goal? Like, what is that?
Yeah. I've seen, some stuff online today and stuff. And it's like, is it time to like start thinking about, replacing Bo Nix and things like that? And I think that's crazy. But I am not going to disagree with you on the play, and it's not good, and it's not sustainable long term. But I think we pounded the table before the season and said he was not going to have a sophomore slump, and we're probably wrong there. But when you say that, everything that we've said leading up to this point is part of the problem. When you're behind the sticks because you're getting penalties, or you don't trust the protection, is going to make you throw off your front foot or your back foot or whatever that may be. Leave the pocket when you shouldn't, you don't have the touch on it that you're supposed to. So I don't think it's exclusively Bo, but he's not playing as if, preseason people are like, oh, he's a dark horse MVP candidate. I think, well, you can throw that right in the trash can. So it's clearly going to be a sophomore slump season. But I think it's salvageable, right? I think that there's a lot of issues. We got to run the football. What is it going to take for this coaching staff to just run the football? How many running backs are you going to draft? How many running backs are you going to sign in free agency year over year and just not give them the ball? It just doesn't make any sense. You have a young quarterback who's struggling in some areas. Run the football. You have under 3 minutes. Run the clock down. Do something. Don't go 3 and out and get 0 yards. Like, it's embarrassing, dude. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't call my son's 11U football game like that. Like, what the hell is that, dude? Like, you throw
let it out.
You throw a swing pass to the left. That was, oh, Jesus, dude. Run the football, dude. 3 minutes. Run the football.
Yep. And I've been talking about this, and people always get mad at me. And I'm like, Sean Payton has this pressing need to make Bo Nix the feature of his offense, even when he's not playing good. We saw he threw the ball 40 times in the first game. Was it 40 or 30? Whatever. 40. And we won by 8 and we scored 20 points. Like, what are you doing? And they come out unprepared. Every game, they've looked unprepared on one side of the ball or the other, right? And like you said, they're not running the football, which is infuriating. Like J.K. Dobbins, okay, there's a pitch count or whatever. You want to be careful and protect him from injury. That's fine. But didn't we talk about this last year with Sean Payton? I'm going to go with the hot hand. Okay, so your hot hand was J.K. Dobbins in the third quarter, and then you never gave him the ball again. And that's probably hyperbole, but they didn't try to get him the ball, right? And one thing that I do want to, I guess, defend Sean Payton on is, and people drive me nuts on social media. I don't know why I go in the comments, Sean. I need to stop doing that. My therapist would probably tell me the same thing if I had one. But, bro, people are like, run to the left, run to the right, screen. I'm like, that wasn't the play sequence. That was not the play sequence. Or screen. I'm like, nope, that wasn't what the Broncos did. But when your offensive line is getting eaten alive by 3 and 4 man rushes, Sean, you don't have time to throw the football down the field. That's why he was calling screens, trying to just get the ball out of his hands, right? So I don't have a problem with the Broncos running screens as an extension of their so-called running game. But we need to have a running game of some sort, right? It's extremely frustrating. And like you said, this begs the question of why, and I'm not saying Jahdae Barron's not going to pan out, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's not on the field very often. He doesn't look like it, right? We have Chris Abrams-Draine, who a lot of people think is a solid cornerback who just rots on the Broncos bench, right? And the Broncos have a clear need for some sort of game breaker, tight end, wide receiver, running back, whatever it is that you want them to have. They're in need of it, right? And instead we grab a cornerback. And it's like, okay, well, we're building a team that can defeat Patrick Mahomes. You are building a team that right now is going to have a hard time defeating Jake Browning. So going back to my original point and yours, when you're featuring Bo Nix as the centerpiece of your offense, can we get him some help? Can we draft and sign guys who can actually make a difference? Is that possible? It's getting to the point where it's just super frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
And we wanted Loveland. We wanted, excuse me for forgetting his name, the Colts, Warren. We wanted Helm. They didn't even get Helm later in the draft. And it's fine that you sign Evan Ingram, but what was the plan after him? You know that he doesn't stay healthy. So if your plan all offseason was to go after Evan Ingram, your plan in the draft or in free agency or something should have been to get somebody else who can play if he goes down, right? You can't have, this isn't John Elway. There is no plan B. Like Evan Ingram has proven in his career, and I said this when we signed him, that he can't stay healthy. So we can blame Bo Nix, but really the blame is going to go on the coach. And this is segueing into the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is this team doesn't know how to win games, Sean. And this is your big point, so I'll let you run with it. But we've seen so many times in the last 2 seasons where they just lose heartbreaker after heartbreaker. They're never on the right side of these games, and it's getting frustrating. So I'll let you run with that one, Sean, because that's all you.
Well, so my biggest thing is, and I'm not some like football coach that knows everything, but when you get the ball back with, I think it was 2 minutes and 53 seconds, and they have all of their timeouts, and you immediately go to, I'm not sure if it was a swing pass or a screen pass to the left. Run the ball. Force them to use their timeouts. Get ahead of the chains and give yourself an opportunity that you don't have to throw a 40-yard bomb down the field and hope that Cortland Sutton can come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems at the NFL level like it's just so obvious, but it's you get to these things, and you and I talked about it. As soon as Cortland Sutton dropped that ball, I knew we were going to lose. Yep. And it's Same. Just like you knew the inopportune penalties were going to come. You knew that bend, don't break stuff. It doesn't work when they only need a field goal, and you let them walk down the field, and here they come. Hampton runs for 30 yards down the sideline. There ain't nobody even in the frame of the picture. It's just everything that you're supposed to be good at, and everything that seems obvious for people that watch enough football, participate in football, and truly know at least the 101s of football. We're not doing those basic things to win games. Mm-hmm. And we didn't lose the game because we had one bad drive. We had countless 3-and-outs. I think you said we were 2 for 13 on third down.
2 for 13.
But when you're 3rd and 10 all the time, that's exactly what you're going to get. And why are you in 3rd and 10? Because you didn't run the football. And so it's just like, who doesn't know how to win? Is it Bo? Is it Sean? Is it I don't know. But when I watch this game, I can just see it unfolding, and it's like Groundhog Day, dude. And it's like I just don't know what to say, man. Like the first thing I said is like, this team just doesn't know how to win. You get to those points, and obviously we've talked about it with like the Bills and the Ravens, and you take your lumps and you do those types of things. And as crazy as it sounds, that people that have been playing football since they were probably 5 years old don't know how to win the game, but there doesn't appear to be anyone leading this team and taking them to victory. Somebody's got to lead this team and show them how to win. Most of these people on this team, from an NFL perspective, have never won because we have been horrible for a long time. Mm-hmm. So who is it going to be? Who's that guy that's going to show this team how to win? Because
especially on offense.
Yeah. If they don't, we're going to be frustrated all season long, losing 1-score games because your defense is good enough to keep people out of the end zone. That's the truth. Teams cannot score on us in the red zone. So we have a high-ranked defense that can't cover tight ends between the 20s. So super cool. Doesn't help you when you got L's. So that's my frustration, man. I texted it to you yesterday. I said it when we started this. This football team doesn't know how to win.
Well, and I will touch on a point that you just made there about not being able to cover running backs, tight ends. Dre Greenlaw not playing is hurting the Broncos. Now, I want to be careful with what we're saying here. And I told you this before we came on, Sean. I am not upset at Dre Greenlaw. I don't think he was a waste of a signing right now. Okay, so if it takes him a little bit of time to get right and then he comes back and he's right for the rest of the year and he helps us shut down some offenses for the rest of the season and gets us into helps get us into the playoffs, I'm okay with that. Where it's going to become frustrating is if we signed him, he's injured now, he comes back, gets injured, comes back, gets injured, back and forth. Like he just can't stay healthy. So I think it's a little early for Broncos fans to be sounding the alarm on him being a bust. Same with Ingram, right? I know it's frustrating, but it's not like these guys have come back, gotten hurt, come back, gotten hurt. It hasn't happened, right? History would lend itself to those things happening, but I'm personally not going to fault the Broncos on that yet because it hasn't happened. And I think that's fair. But going back to your identity winning thing, the defense did let us down at the end of the game, right? But an important stat that I want to point to right now is that the Chargers ran 80 plays yesterday. And the Broncos ran, do you want to take a guess?
I know because you told me.
Just take the guess, Sean.
48.
40, dang, dude, you're good. 48 plays. The Broncos ran 48 plays. And I don't know, I don't know how to quantify how many 3-and-outs we had, but it was probably 7 or 8.
A lot. I think we had 9 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, we had no points. We hadn't even gotten past midfield, right? Until right before halftime.
Yeah, when we scored. Yeah.
And this is the thing with the Broncos, and they've done this for years. Even when the team wasn't good, the defense was always good. The defense has been good for like 14 years around here, right? At least decent. They depend too much on their defense to keep them in the game until they can figure it out offensively. And one of these days, when you're playing a team like the Eagles, for instance, you're not going to be afforded that luxury. And you are not going to want Bo Nix dropping back, throwing 40 times against the Eagles on the road. That's not a situation that you're going to want to be in. You don't even want to be in that situation next week against the Bengals. Their defense isn't very good, but that pass rush is not, nothing to sneeze at there. I think they're pretty solid, especially with Hendrickson back, and I think that's gonna be a tough game for the Broncos. And if it's a close game down the stretch, it's probably gonna be in their head at that point, right? It's like, well, man, here we go again. So I think what it's gonna take for the Broncos to start winning games and learn how to win games is, I think, number one, Bo Nix needs to learn how to play with a lead. Right? Because the last 2 games, in the fourth quarter, we've had the lead and we lost both games. That's not what winning teams do.
Yep.
Right? And it's not just on Bo Nix. It's the offensive line. It's Sean Payton. It's Joe Lombardi. Whoever's calling the plays, right? The running backs, whichever one of the four is playing that at that point. I think that it hurts Bo Nix that he doesn't have a tight end right now because Lucas Kroll, I mean, he's a big guy. He's athletic, but I don't think he gets the position because we've seen the Broncos tried to get him the ball at the beginning of the game, last game against the Chargers. And instead of finding the soft spot in the zone, I think he just sat and Bo threw it where he thought he was going to be. And then we saw against the Titans where Bo wanted him to sit and he went inside. And it's like these guys are not on the same page. And as athletic and as exciting as Lucas Kroll is, he may just not be a very good tight end. I know Adam Troutman is just getting eaten alive out there. It's like if you're going to put a guy like Adam Troutman on the team because he's a good blocker, then he better be blocking somebody. And he's not doing that either, right? So it's going to be a team effort. The Broncos are going to have to learn how to not force the defense to be on the field for 80 plays a game, or they are not going to beat anybody. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they're playing. If your team is on the field, your defense is on the field for 80 plays, you're not going to beat very many teams, right? And what does that start with? Going back to your point, Sean, run the football.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the Bo Nix show every week, you know? And if you run the football, it's going to help Bo Nix open up the playbook a little bit, right? And when Evan Ingram comes back, so this is what drove me nuts. Sorry, and I'm on my soapbox now. But when we played the Titans, they ran play action like 10 times after not establishing the run. It's like nobody's falling for this, right? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And the Titans were just like, okay, and they just came after Bo Nix. They're like, we know you're not handing the ball off, and you can't run the football against us. So I think the Broncos need to take a look at the center position because Luke Wattenberg is a liability, just to be nice about it. That's the nicest thing I can say. He's getting blown up. He cost us a touchdown, like I said, to Troy Franklin. Or did I say that on here, or did I say it during the pre?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm concerned, man. I'm not saying that it's time to panic. I'm not saying that the Broncos are a bad football team. They are obviously a very talented football team, but they are not putting it together. They're not. The offense plays good when the defense doesn't. The defense plays good when the offense doesn't, or neither one plays good, like last week. You know, well, I mean, they played good for a half, I guess, the offense, but I don't know, man. I feel like it could be a Sean Payton problem. I don't know what your thoughts are on him, but if he's coming up to the podium after the game and saying, you know, we got to stop taking penalties and we got to be more disciplined and we got to learn how to do this and it's not good enough. Like, okay, so isn't it your job to fix it? Aren't you the guy in charge? Aren't you the guy that's letting them take stupid penalties at the worst times? Like Hufanga played great yesterday, but that penalty was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on the Sean Payton? Do you think he's the right coach for the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it was our decision when that all happened, right? With the trade and all that kind of stuff. We wanted to go in some different directions. The whole
Jim Harbaugh, yeah.
Him 1-5 against Jim Harbaugh is going to be a problem. And it's a 1-6 now.
Yep.
It's just I don't think it's as bad of a personnel problem as we made. I think J.K. Dobbins has, every time he's played in these 3 games, I've been impressed with someone that's coming off of major injuries. And I just don't understand, like, why he's, maybe it's a pitch count or whatever, but he can't be getting close to it. He's getting 10 to 15 touches a week. And he's, you know, I don't know what the yards per carry and stuff are offhand, but it seems like from the eye test that he does very well. He runs hard. He makes people miss. He scores touchdowns, and then he doesn't exist. And
I'm going to make you very upset here in a second, but go ahead, keep going.
So it's just, you know, it's one of those things where you try to set up a thunder and lightning type thing, or, you know, whatever your little things are for two running backs and you don't play Harvey and you don't give J.K. Dobbins the ball. And then, you let the whole city of Denver start crapping on Bo Nix when there's opportunities to help him. There's opportunities to manage the clock. And why I don't get it. I don't get why we abandon it. Vic did it. Sean does it. It's like, we're going to run the ball this week. And then it's like, oh, we got a 3-and-out. So we better just throw it for the next 45 minutes. It's like, dude, come on, man. We didn't deserve to be in that game, but it was 10-7 at the half. You are in that game. Run the ball, create an identity, establish the run. Dude, it looked like there was 15 Derwin James out there. That was it.
Dude, he was unstoppable. Yeah.
Every tackle, everything is Derwin James. Nobody else does anything. So I don't know. Maybe he's unblockable. Maybe he's just the best defensive player in the history of life. But it's annoying, dude. It's like the only thing I ever see is Derwin James, and none of you can do nothing about it. And you don't run the ball. I just want to see us run the ball. Just try it and lose that way. And then you can say, you know what, we can't do it. Something's wrong. It's the line. It's this. It's that. But you got to try it, man. The quarterback and the connection, all these things that we're talking about can be easily remedied by just running the football. And 40 throws in the first game, getting double the plays in the third game. There's ways to help your team manage it, and running the football is the best way to do that.
Are you ready to have that vein in your head that's popping out right now, Sean? Are you ready for it to just straight jump at the screen right now?
I'm going to slam my laptop closed.
The Broncos ran the ball with Harvey and Dobbins this week 13 times.
13 was sticking in my head before you even said it.
13 times. In a game we lost at the buzzer, bro.
By 3.
Yeah, not the buzzer. You guys know what I mean. It's a term. We lost by 3 points on a walk-off field goal, and we ran the ball 13 times. Next fun stat. Last week, we ran the ball 19 times with them, and J.K. Dobbins averaged 5.4 yards a carry last week. This week, J.K. Dobbins averaged 7.5 yards per carry.
What are we doing, dude?
And then, 40-yard run probably helped that.
Sure, but you're
still looking at 4 yards a carry. Yeah, you're still looking at 4 yards a carry outside of that. And then, how many times do you think they handed the ball to R.J. Harvey this week?
4.
2.
2.
You know how many times they handed the ball to R.J. Harvey last week? 5.
It's so obvious, though. It's right there on paper, dude. If we were losing by 20, we were losing by 30, like, okay, dude, get off the run. Like, let's start throwing the ball. But You're not. You're losing winnable games, and you're not running the football with people that are effectively running the football. So to circle back to your point, that is absolutely a Sean Payton or a Joe Lombardi problem, and it's nobody else, because these guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, at least on paper. And I personally think, to the eye test, I think J.K. Dobbins, every time I see him, I'm like, dude, this guy is legit. If he stays healthy, if he stays healthy, we're in a really good place. But don't give him the ball. Just one good series is enough. That's all we need.
Bro, could you imagine if J.K. Dobbins does get hurt? They're never going to run the football. They don't want to give the ball to R.J. Harvey because he's a rookie. So here's my question to Sean Payton. If you don't want to hand the ball to a rookie, why are you drafting rookies? Just continuously sign veteran running backs that fit your system and stop wasting everybody's time. Okay? And if he's not developing, or if he's not panning out, that's on you. You drafted him. You got to make it work. Or you got to put somebody else in the game that's going to make it work, because this is ridiculous. You want to know another fun stat from the game before we get out of here? Cortland Sutton had 6 catches for 118 yards against the Chargers and a touchdown. Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Lucas Kroll, and J.K. Dobbins combined for 4 receptions for 21 yards.
Yeah, you can't spread the ball around. You're forcing the ball to the same receiver because you want to keep him involved. And I get it. I even talked to some people about, they were like, "Oh, I'm benching Cortland Sutton on my fantasy team." I'm like, "Don't do it, man," because they're going to force feed him the ball this week. And as soon as it happened, we were watching the game. I was like, "What'd I tell you?" I knew they were going to force him the ball, but you got to put it together, man. And the best way to do that is to make them honest. Run the football.
And last point, Bo Nix was 14 of 25 throwing football. If he's 20 of 25, you have a little bit of an argument that we're not running the football. Okay. But 14 of 20, like what? Like, what are we doing? So what I'm saying to you, Broncos country, is that this is not all on Bo Nix. Granted, he is not playing very good. He's sporadically playing good. I should say that. He did not play good at all against Chargers. But this is not all on him. They need to put him in a position to succeed. They need to run the ball. They need to get Evan Ingram healthy. They need to get him his safety valve. Every great quarterback has a safety valve, right? Mahomes has Kelsey. Jackson has Andrews. Allen has Knox. Yep. Right? All these guys. Hurts has Goddard. And Goddard isn't like an all-world guy, but he's the safety valve, right? So before we go throwing Bo Nix under the bus, they need to help him out, and that's the bottom line. So my excitement level for the Broncos-Bengals game is lower than my socks right now, Sean, but I'm sure that by the time Sunday night rolls around, I'll be ready to go because we are gluttons for punishment, us sports fans, and we'll be raring to watch the Broncos hopefully make some adjustments. Yeah. I mean, the Bengals defense is atrocious. So
exactly why you should run it.
You got to establish the run. The Broncos, this needs to be the game where the Broncos win like 27-10 or something, and they just eat the clock all night. RJ Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Bidet, whoever it is, just hand them the football and take the pressure off Bo Nix for once. We're begging you.
Yep.
And I hate when I have to do this, but I'm not a huge fan of Sean Payton. And this is why, because he's an egotistical head coach. It's like, I'm going to do this. I don't care what the other team's doing. I'm going to do this. We are going to throw the ball with Bo Nix 47 times. And it doesn't matter if he's good. It doesn't matter if he turns the ball over. It doesn't matter if we're running the ball good. Nothing matters. We're just it's the Bo Nix show. And that's unfair to Bo Nix. It really is. So That being said, thank you for listening, everybody. We are the Bronc Bros. You can find us on Spotify, on YouTube. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. I always forget the order, Sean. Like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Follow Sean to his house. Dude, I'm going to get in trouble one of these days saying that. Hopefully nobody actually follows you to your house.
No, I'm not in Colorado anymore. I'll be all right.
That's true. Yeah, he's in New Hampshire, so he'll be all right. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. We will be with you next week, hopefully, after a Broncos victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. We are on to Cincinnati. We are off the air.
Yes, sir.